wave tops and then popped up to 1,500 feet to drop their concussion and incendiary bombs. And after their attacks, the bombers dropped back down to treetop level and in some cases below treetop level as they escaped the west toward China. Here is the B-25 taking off right now. Those are the 16 B-25 each for the 5-man crew attacking Tokyo area with a few hitting Nagoya. And the damage to the intended military targets was modest. And none of the planes reached the Chinese airfield, although a few of their crewmen survived. Only one plane landed. It had turned north and landed in Russia, where the crew was interned. 11 other crews bailed out in total darkness and a pounding rain. 4 crews attempted to ditch or crash land. The Japanese High Command was deeply embarrassed. 3 of the 8 American airmen captured by the Japanese were executed. Spurred by Combined Fleet Commander Admiral Itsuruko Yamamoto, they also resolved to eliminate the risk of any more such raids by the early destruction of America's aircraft carriers, a decision that led them to disaster at the Battle of Midway a month and a half later, where they lost 4 aircraft carriers. The Doolittle raid is considered to be one of the greatest successes in military history, even though all of the aircraft were lost. Jimmy Doolittle was awarded the Medal of Honor and promoted to Brigadier General, skipping the rank of Colonel. The Doolittle Raiders still have an annual reunion each year on April 18th, and Panchito has the honor of flying 4 of the Raiders and attending 3 of the reunions, and will attend the next one as well. Ladies and gentlemen, as the B-25 turns around and heads back in here, it's important that we remember that it is here representing the disabled American veterans. It is the DAV flight team flying for us today. And with a special message, here is television and movie star Gary Sinise.
Hello, I'm Gary Sinise. In the movie Forrest Gump, I played Army Lieutenant Dan Taylor, a veteran who lost his legs in Vietnam. The freedoms we enjoy today are only possible because of the sacrifices that hundreds of thousands of disabled American veterans have made for all of us. The disabled American veterans and the DAV B-25 of today's air show remind all of us of the heroes who rode through I'd like to stop by the DAV B-25 here today. See a living piece of history, and while you're there, pick up your own collectible pin honoring the B-25. For just a small donation, you can keep history alive by honoring all of our disabled American veterans. Thank you.
Yeah, that is some message, and we have one of the representatives of the team up here with us right now. They talk a little bit about the tour that the B-25 does and how it supports the disabled American vets.
Well, we're so happy to be here. We are here to increase public awareness about the disabled American veterans. As you see the B-25 here,
that's to show the bomb bay doors, what it looks like up inside there. And if you look, you might also have been able to see, if you look carefully, the bomb bay was full of 500-pound dummy bombs, all of them signed by veterans.
we have veterans stop by, and maybe they've been crew chiefs or pilots of the B-25, and we have them sign the bomb, just another way to honor them and thank them for their service on the B-25 during that time.
The B-25 was widely used for low-level dive bombing, especially against Japanese naval targets. I want you to watch this time from the right as Panchito simulates a dive bombing attack on a Japanese warship. The attacking B-25 would be strafing the ship as it approached, then drop a 500 or 1,000-pound bomb on the ship as it passed over.
Take a look and listen to those radio engines.
Bomb run at 200 feet with a pull just past show center, and we're looking right here at Blue Angel 1, and that's show center. The original Panchito's crew is I'm just trying to see here, is approaching for this level bomb run. Watching the bomb bay doors open as she neared show center. The original design of the B-25 was for medium altitude level bombing, but as we will describe in a moment, crews in the field modified the aircraft into a much more potent weapon. for level bombing with machine guns installed only to defend the plane. Fixed machine guns for strafing ground and sea targets were field modifications and made the B-25 a very effective weapon at attacking airfields, shipping trains, and troop emplacements. By the time the J models were being manufactured, like this, the fixed guns were factory installed, and later strafer versions of the B-25 had 12 fixed forward-firing machine guns for the strafing role. Imagine 4 B-25s approaching a Japanese airfield at treetop height at 335 miles an hour, with 48 50 caliber machine guns blazing and parafrag bombs raining down from the bomb bay as the formation passed over the field.
The disabled American veterans is proud to bring the B-25 here to Patuxent River. You know, all of our services are free to veterans, and that's another thing we want to be sure we get the word out about. If you're a veteran out there and you need help, come see the DAV. We are here to help you. If you want to help veterans, you can make a donation. Just stop by and see us and see what's going on right here in Patuxent River to help all the veterans here.
That's great. And I'll give you some background on Larry and the crew. They're all from the area. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get your cameras ready as Panchito's crew brings her around for her signature photo pass from the left side. As she nears show center, the crew will show you the beautiful profile of the North American Aviation B-25 Mitchell bomber. As it approaches, think of two things. Built by North American. It was an airplane built by a company that had never built a bomber before and had never built a multi-engine airplane. This was number one.
Get your cameras ready. Here she comes. What a beautiful aircraft. Larry Kelley is the owner of the airplane, and he is from right here in the area. His son also flies with him. The other pilot is Paul Newer, who's also from this area. So, local fellas right here flying the beautiful B-25.
Yeah, Larry has lived in Maryland since 1971, a pharmacist, owned and operated a nationwide pharmacy next to the hospital in Prince Frederick for 25 years. While a resident of Prince Frederick, he served as a member of the board of directors at Calvert Memorial Hospital for 9 years, board of directors at Mercantile Bank, now PNC Bank, and he's still active in pharmacy services to many nursing homes in southern Maryland. Paul Newer, in the right seat, is also a lifetime Maryland resident, born in Baltimore, grew up on the Eastern Shore, was a crop duster for over 20 years, currently in the mosquito control pilot for the state of Maryland, and is FAA designated check pilot for the B-25. And he spent many evenings and nights wearing night vision goggles, flying low over the swamps of Maryland and spraying for mosquitoes.
I bet you're glad about that, right?
Oh yeah, nice to be working at daylight out here. Josh Kelley, Larry's youngest son, is a crew chief, a student at Calvert High School. Prince Frederick has been flying with Larry on the B-25 since he was 6 years old. Josh is very active in the maintenance of the B-25. And then John Kenny, the maintenance officer for Panchito, spent many years of his Navy career right here at Patuxent River. He now lives in Seaford, Delaware, and spends many long days and nights working to keep Panchito flying to meet its commitments for the DAV.
You know, Frank, we want to keep that history alive, but we also want to honor all those veterans that have served in any conflict and all the active military that are over fighting for our freedom now. Our mission, as always, is really helping veterans. We're building better lives for our nation's disabled veterans and their families. That's what we do day in and day out, veterans helping veterans. And the B-25 is just a great way to increase that public awareness. We're so proud to be here with the Panchito.
Well, Panchito's making one more pass from the left side in preparation of landing. Panchito's performance today is brought to you by the Disabled American Veterans. The DAV wants to thank you for your patriotism for our country and for helping us to keep the spirit of America flying. Your steadfast enthusiasm in support of these antique aircraft keeps these wonderful planes in the air, drilling millions each year. Their peacetime performance is an honor of those who serve in this times of war. From all the disabled veterans of all wars, we thank you for joining with us today to enjoy Panchito, the beautiful B-25 from World War II. We're losing World War II veterans at the rate of over 1,500 a day. We owe our freedoms today to those veterans that saved our country during the greatest conflict the world has ever known. The DAV is proud to be a sponsor of Panchito and is proud to support all disabled veterans. At the DAV, our single mission is to build better lives for disabled veterans and their families. We hope today that what we've given you here is some great memories of our proud history, our achievement in aviation, our dedication to the men and women who served with duty, honor, and sacrifice throughout the world in today's wars and all the wars past. This beautiful B-25 Mitchell bomber Panchito, owned and piloted by Larry Kelley of Cordella Springs. The original Panchito, named after the feisty about a Mexican rooster in Disney's 1944 animated musical, The Three Caballeros, was a bomber of the 396th Bomb Squadron, 41st Bomb Group, 7th Air Force, stationed in Okinawa during the hot summer of 1945. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is so great to be able to present a guy that has so much visibility, who supports the disabled American vets. Once again, here's Gary Sinise.
Hello, I'm Gary Sinise. You might remember me from the movie Forrest Gump, where I played Lieutenant Dan Taylor, a soldier who lost his legs in combat. One of my greatest heroes has always been my Uncle Jack. When I was a kid, Uncle Jack humbly told me tales of his combat experiences over the skies of Europe as a navigator on a B-17. The Disabled American Veterans B-25 at today's air show reminds us of the sacrifices made by those who've served our great nation, the heroes who gave life and limb for our freedom. Stop by today to lend your support for all our nation's veterans, and for a small donation to the Disabled American Veterans, receive a DAV B25 pin. Your pledge of support means everything to our nation's disabled veterans and their families.
For more information about the Disabled American Veterans Organization, or to stop by and take a close look at Panchito, come visit our display. Look for the big yellow flag.
Watch him as he touches down. There he is. Poof, poof, and the nose geared down. Now he's going to roll out down here to the left side. And we've been showing you some airplanes of historical significance. Of course, this is the centennial of naval aviation that we have been flying Navy airplanes, and real Navy airplanes. We're starting with flying off a makeshift deck off a cruiser in 1911. And now look at what we got. Of course, we got the Blue Angels airplanes out in front of us, and that's just the Navy. About the same time the Navy was going for the FA-18, the United States Air Force had opted for the F-16 Fighting Falcon, or